Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. My Scrapbook.com creative team package just arrived and there are so many fun new die sets. Here's a quick look at all the goodies I received. Lots of new die sets. A couple of them are coordinating die sets to go with some already released stamp sets. And they also have their new sizes of magnetic magic mats available. So I'll start with the magnetic magic mat. The standard size has already been released, but now there are 4 new sizes to fit a variety of die cut machines. And if you are interested in any of the products I show in this video, I do have links in the description box below. So here's a look at the original standard size magnetic magic mat. The gray side is the magnetic mat and the black side is the traditional magic mat. Be sure to go to Scrapbook.com's website to verify which die cut machine works with which size magnetic or magic mat. I use the standard size with my Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine. The standard size mat is 6.125 inches by 8.75 inches. They now have the slim size, and this works great with the Platinum Scout machine. It's 3.5 inches by 9 inches. And included with all of the magnetic mats, there is a sheet with a bunch of tips on how to use the mat and get the best life out of them. The next size is the extended size, and this is 6 inches by 14.5 inches. The largest size is the plus size, and this is 9 by 15 inches. This is a really nice large size. It does work with several die cut machines. Be sure to check out the website. Make sure before you purchase it which size mat works with your machine. But you could also use the magnetic mats, put them on an easel and store all your dies while you're working with a set. That way they don't go missing. And I do have a quick tutorial showing how to use the magnetic mat, but first I want to show the rest of the products. Last year, Scrapbook.com released their Holly Jolly Christmas stamp set, and now there are coordinating dies. So if you have the stamp set and didn't grab the dies, now's your chance to do it. That way you'll be all set for Christmas this year. But for this year, we can move on to Valentine's. There's a new stamp set called Sweet Valentine, and there are coordinating dies. Now, some of the products I'm showing in this video are not quite available, but they are in the coming soon section. Be sure to sign up for email notification. That way you know as soon as they're in stock. And I do have a video coming very soon using some new Valentine products from Scrapbook.com. Next up is a die set called Heart Doilies. It includes 4 hearts, and I love the beautiful details on each of the hearts. All 4 are different. Sticking with the Valentine's Day theme, there's also a die set called Valentine. And both of the sets coordinate beautifully with the new Valentine pattern paper that's coming very soon. With the Valentine die set, you can create a heart lock and key, some tiny little cupcakes, happy mail with a little heart. There are heart cherries and a sweet little bird. And in this video, I will share a couple of cards using both of these sets. Next up is a die set called Present Shaker. So you can create this large present, and you can make it a shaker, or you can use the dies for a non-shaker. I love the faux stitch detail around the present and also the bow. There's a new A2 card die called Stitched Stripes. I love this style die. It's perfect for creating a fun detailed background. It has the narrow stripes and also the wider stripe with that faux stitch detail in the center. Next up is Nested Stamp Polaroids. There are 4 different sizes. It cuts out that larger rectangle where you can add an image, And underneath it, you can add a sentiment. You can never have too many nested die sets. And here's another one, nested stitched labels. There are 4 different sizes. I love this fun shape, and it does have the faux stitch detail right on that outside edge. It's nice to have the 4 different sizes. You could include an image or a sentiment inside that label piece. The next 2 sets are very similar. One has the faux stitch detail and the other doesn't. These are the nested stitched flat ovals, or you can get the nested flat ovals. Both sets include 8 pieces, so it's a really nice variety of sizes. The final die set is nested stitched tickets, and there are 4 different sizes. Has that fun faux stitch detail, and I think this will be a really fun set to use throughout the year. You could add a sentiment or images on the inside of the tickets. So I did want to show real quickly how to use the new magnetic magic mats. I've shown it in another video, but I wanted to use the new slim size since I love my Platinum Scout machine in the beautiful rose quartz color. And this color is exclusive to scrapbook.com. The Platinum Scout machine comes with Spellbinder's universal plate system, makes it super easy to emboss, die cut, lots of other options since it has all the different plates included. And I'm only showing a few of them. To die cut out a shape, I'll need platform base A, platform top B, one of the C cutting plates, and instead of the second C cutting plate, I'll be substituting the magnetic magic mat. And I'm showing in the video that only one side of the mat has the magnet, the gray side that shows magnetic mat. If you put it on the black magic mat side, that die will not be held in place. And even with the piece of cardstock, the die and paper aren't going anywhere. So to cut it out, you'll put the paper down first and the die facing down since you'll be cutting into the magnetic mat. I ran it through the Platinum Scout twice and you can see it cut out beautifully. Left some of those little inside details from the doily heart, but I'll wipe those right off. Now when you are using the magnetic magic mat, make sure to rotate the mat and use the regular magic mat side. That way it stays nice and flat. So let's go ahead and make a couple of Valentine's Day cards. The pattern paper I'm using is scrapbook.com's Valentine paper. It's available in A2 and also 6x8 size. For the background of my card, I selected the pink, red, and white plaid paper. And for the background piece, I'm using some of the red solid pattern paper. The pink plaid paper is 3 7/8 of an inch by 5 1/8 of an inch. And that red layer is A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. The 2 main adhesives I'm using, scrapbook.com's Deluxe Adhesive Roller and also their Artiste glue. And I have the ultra fine metal tip on my glue bottle. It's my favorite and I never take it off. I'll be adding 3 of the heart doily die cuts. Use the solid red pattern paper for the largest heart. For that darker pink, this color is from the Pink Smooth cardstock paper pad. And the smaller heart, I use some white cardstock. I'll put glue on the back and adhere the 3 hearts down on the background. For a sentiment, I've already stamped this out, Sweetheart, cut it out using the coordinating die. And with that same die, I cut out a second piece from some silver holographic paper. And this is included in scrapbook.com's holographic mirror paper pad. I'll glue the 2 pieces together, offsetting them slightly, so you have this beautiful sparkle underneath the sentiment and on the left side. From the new Valentine die set, I cut out this small envelope using the red solid pattern paper. It has a pink and white stripe on the inside. When you cut out the envelope, it has the scored pieces, so you can easily fold up your little envelope. There's also a die so you can put a letter on the inside, and I stamped the tiny little hearts. This was designed for the sprinkles on the top of the cupcake, but I thought it would look cute at the top of the letter. To hold the sides of the envelope and also that letter, I used a little bit of artiste glue. Now I'll flip over the Happy Mail. I will pop it up using foam dimension. I have the large foam squares in the 1mm size. Make sure to get good coverage on the back. I'll be adding the Happy Mail in the center of the pink card, and the sentiment Sweetheart will go in the lower right-hand corner. Part of it will sit on the red envelope. With all those different layers, I will be popping it up. This time I'll be using the large foam squares in the 3mm thickness. I won't add any foam behind the area that sits on the red envelope. In that area, I'll add some artiste glue. I'll remove the release paper and adhere the sentiment in place, trying to get it nice and straight. I'll hold down just a little bit longer in the area that has the glue. Once it dries, it's not going anywhere. For embellishments, I'm adding some Ballet slipper colored jewels. These are from Pink Fresh Studio. I have them stored in the large embellishment jar from scrapbook.com. I'll pour out a small amount in the smaller stack and sort tray. That way I can select the sizes a little bit easier. They don't have adhesive on the back, so I'll first add a small drop of artiste glue. Then I'll pick up the jewels using the wax tip end of scrapbook.com's Craft Pro Pick tool. I'll put 3 jewels in the upper right-hand corner and 2 in the lower left-hand corner. So there is my finished card. This one was really fun to make. I think it would be easy to mass produce if you need a bunch of Valentine's Day cards. I have one final card to share. I really wanted to use the new nested stitched ticket die set. I cut out 2 sizes from craft cardstock, and I'm adding just a little extra ink along the outside edges. The ink color is Distress Oxide Vintage Photo. I'm using scrapbook.com's small size blending brushes, and I'm doing the ink blending on a cut down version of the Project Grip Mat. I do have a non-cut down version, but I tend to grab this quarter piece. It's great for a little bit of ink blending or gluing together die cuts. That way I don't get adhesive or ink all over my workspace mat. So once I'm done ink blending, I will clean this up, spritz it with a little bit of water, and wipe it down using the Crafty cleanup cloths. If you haven't tried these cloths yet, I highly recommend them. I've washed mine multiple times and the ink or whatever I'm cleaning up always comes out. That way you can reuse them again and again. I'll be adding the new bird image, and this is included on the Valentine die set. On the tail and also the wings, it does have this little cutout piece. I put some of the solid light pink pattern paper on the back side. That way you can see that light pink color through those little slits. For the bird's beak, I'm also using that same light pink color. For the eye, I use black cardstock, and the bird will be holding a red heart. Now that eye and the beak are super tiny. To pick up the eye, I first put a tiny drop of artiste glue and picked it up using the wax tip end of the Craft Pro Pick tool. I also cut out 2 hearts, one in light pink, the other in red, and on the red heart I stamped the sentiment Be Mine. And this sentiment is included on the Sweet Valentine stamp set. I'll add both of the hearts on the smaller size ticket, and the bird will go on the larger size ticket. Putting it more on the left side since I'll be overlapping that lower right hand corner with the smaller ticket. For the background of my card, I'm using the light grid pattern paper. I'll be layering it on some of the pink solid and also some of the red solid pattern paper. But before I layer all those pieces, I wanted to add a little extra detail. I'm using some of scrapbook.com's RUB-ONS transfers. I selected their vintage scripts in black. They're also available in white, silver, and gold. Decided to go with the black for the Valentine's Day card. I'll cut out several of the script pieces. The scissors I'm using are the new titanium scissors. They're already one of my favorites. Super strong, and you can cut sticky adhesive with them. Now I'll start adding some of those script pieces on the background. Since I know I'll be putting the 2 tickets on in the center, I only need to focus on those areas around the tickets. There are different ways to transfer the rub-on images. I'm using the popsicle stick that's included in the set. Other ways to transfer the rub-on images are a die cut machine. You would use the same sandwich as a die cut. You can also use a fuse machine. I believe the setting is 3, although I don't have one, so I've never tried this before. I'll start by adding one of the script images in the lower left-hand corner. Then I'll cut out another script piece and put it in the upper right-hand corner. I'm trying to select different scripts that look fairly similar. Grab those tickets again, figure out where I need to add more script. This time I'll put this longer strip in the lower left-hand corner. And I'm trimming the very right side since it will go off the edge. Just grab that popsicle stick, do some quick pressure, remove that backing piece. There are a few little areas that rip, but that's okay. I'm going for more of a distress look. That little extra piece that I cut off of the right, I'll put it above that bottom piece, just filling in some more of the areas. Then I have this narrow 2-line script, and I'll add that in the upper left-hand corner. It'll go right above the larger size ticket. I will need to cut the very left side off since it's a little bit longer than I need. So now I'll grab that popsicle stick again, put even pressure, then slowly peel back that top backing piece. Without the tickets, this background does look very odd, a little variety of script areas. Using the leftover ink on my blending brush, I'm adding a little bit on the very outside edges of this background piece, giving it more of that distressed look. And I did grab my cut down version of the Project Grip Mat. I'll also add a little more ink on the center of the pattern paper. So now I'll layer this piece on the pink solid pattern paper. The grid pattern paper piece is 5 inches by 3 3/4 of an inch, and the pink layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 5 1/8 of an inch by 3 7/8 of an inch. I'll put more adhesive on the back and layer this piece on the red solid, and that piece is A2 size. I'll put more adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base. Before adhering the 2 tickets on the front, decided that background needed a little more detail. I grabbed a bottle of Distress Spritz. This is the Vintage Photo Color. I'll shake up the bottle to get all of that lovely shimmery goodness mixed up. Then I'll spray the background more on the left side. So once that dries, it adds this lovely shimmery finish. And I will admit it's not completely dry. I tend to be very impatient when I'm recording videos. It doesn't take that long to dry when you have a very light coat, but I am being very careful not to touch it. I'll add the larger ticket down first, put Artis glue on the back and adhere it on the left side. For the smaller ticket, I am popping it up using some foam. This is Scrapbook.com's 1/4 inch foam in the 1 millimeter thickness. I'll remove the release paper and adhere it in the lower right-hand corner. Just press down again on the larger ticket, making sure all of those edges lay nice and flat. Normally I would place a large acrylic block on top, but I didn't do that since some of the Distress Spritz hasn't dried completely. For a final finishing touch, I'll add a few sequins. These are from Spellbinders. It's a cream color and it has this beautiful iridescent finish. If I'm pronouncing it correct, it's Bisque Opalescent. I think the color works really well with the background. I poured out a small amount in the stack and sort tray. There are 3 different sizes included in the mix. I'll put 3 sequins in the upper right-hand corner and 2 in the lower left-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I love how this one turned out as well. Very different looking from the first card. It's never too early to get started on holiday cards, and now I have 2 more of my Valentine's Day cards finished. If you're ready to get started on Valentine's Day cards, scrapbook.com has so many fun new products. If you are interested in any of the items I used in this video, I do have links in the description box below. Many of the items are available now, others are coming very soon. So be sure to sign up for email notification as soon as they're in stock. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.